And I'm just thinking, I'm like, imagine if someone came up to me and was like, not only are we going to get like 2 to 3 times more engagement for your booth, but imagine if we can actually track who was actually interested in your booth. And not only that, what happens if we just send them to you after the event?
Right.
I would just be jaw on the floor. I'd be like, okay, how much,
what's it going to take?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's that one vendor that he had, sorry, Nick. It was an awesome vendor, but just his positioning, no one was, I felt so bad for him too, because no one was going there. But if he was on that bingo card, people would want to go to him to mark it off.
Sorry, let me jump in here real fast because honestly, no kidding.
Twins now.
Yeah, right. Y'all asked for it. This is a lie. So here's the deal though. They didn't sponsor the event, so I won't give them credit, but they're a great company. And they're a company I did a lot of work with. And I called 2 friends of mine that are still there. And I called them up and I literally just said this. This has literally been within the last week or so. And now check this out, because this, in and of itself, this should give anybody enough pause who runs events or has, like, you're a vendor running event. You should absolutely consider booth bingo for nothing else for the next thing I'm about to say. I call them up and I say, all right, just imagine something for me real quick. You go to the event, you unpack your stuff. You maybe shake a few hands with people you recognize from other vendors, some form or fashion. Then you actually see the event organizer. You actually shake their hand. You thank them for coming. You ask them, how many people are coming into today's event? And let's just say that they're saying 5,000 people, just for round numbers. And then they go back to their booth and they're thinking, okay, 5,000 people. And I spent how much on this event? And any vendor, answer the question in your head is, how much did I actually spend to set up a booth, to take time out of my day, all the sales calls and all the emails that I'm missing? I'm taking all this time to be here. What's that costing me at this point? So answer that for yourself. So then you go back to your booth and then doors open. All the people start flooding in. And when they're flooding in, now you're doing the calculation in your head. Okay, am I getting in a good spot? Am I going to get enough traffic? Am I going to see enough people? Like you're going to truly find a way of seeing if this thing is actually worth it, right? Mm-hmm. So you wrap up the entire day. You pack the bag up, and naturally, I should add a quick parenthetical thought here to say that you would treat this as any other event that you've been to. You expect to only see a few people. Hopefully, you'll see people you recognize. Hopefully, there's enough people crowded around your table that will draw more people, like all these different factors, right? So you get, day 2, 3, a week, whatever it is that you're there. You finally get done with the event. You pack up all your stuff. You get to the car, and then by the time your butt hit the chair in the car, you have an email on your phone saying exactly who wants to stay in touch with you. When has that ever happened inside of an event? And I, for one, have been doing this for better side of 10 years. I have never seen that in any event where the event itself sent me a list of people that said, I want to stay in touch with this company. It's never happened. And that in and of itself, we could talk data, we could talk metrics, which are all very powerful to this thing. They all have significance to what this program actually does. But just to think that if you're a vendor and you're sitting in the booth and you're realizing, okay, at the end of this, I'm going to realize how many people visited my table, how many people actually I had meaningful conversations with, and how many people am I going to continue that conversation afterward. And guess what? You are prone to go back to that event given the amount of value that they just created for you as the vendor.
Mm-hmm. And also as the attendee, it's fun. There were so many people going around having a fun time. Like you were talking about how like those other apps, they only focused on attendees. Well, we don't just only focus on vendors, we focus on attendees too.
That's exactly
so it's like I wanted to design the experience for the attendee to be just as good as the experience for, for the
well
vendor.
done on that.
Yeah.
2 thoughts come to that as well, real quick. And to your point was how do we open up at least a stream, if not river, to the back 40 vendors, right? Is how do we open that up?
Get it, Jay.
And this is exactly where you bought nosebleeds and you're welcome to the front row.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're getting the value without getting a massive price tag. And then to your point in itself, something that I have been noticing even just as of recent, because I'm actually, this is where this is so awesome, because what we just launched February 1 and we're already seeing the measurements and stats behind this already, which is next level. I love that. But something that I've been noticing, and this will kind of tie in your point about what did you receive after? And I've been getting this, it's not an objection, but it is something that they are attempting to tout, which I get, that's fine, is they want to share all of the people that are coming to the event. So even an opt-in piece, they're trying to share a warm lead. Bless your heart. Okay. Next segment, we're going to talk about warm leads.
Yeah.
Just 17 photographers. Got it. Okay. But they send it out and they said, hey, cool, we're going to give out this list completely to all the vendors that are coming in. Now that really means a lot to somebody like us. Like, hey, cool, we're going to go set up and we want to promote to these people. Hey, when you come to this event, we're giving away something cool. Make sure to get to the Booth Bingo event's priority so you get a good chance to win. But that's not a warm lead. That's not a warm lead. You haven't introduced anybody. They've never shaken a hand or kissed a baby. And don't get that mixed up.
Mhm.
You don't want to shake babies and kiss hands.
Yeah.
You got to wash your lips. Okay. So the idea behind this, though, was actually driven where it is result-driven conversations. And it is exactly that. Before that seat gets warm with your butt imprint, you've got an email in hand with a list of people that say, hey, I liked who I spoke to. And I like the service or good they offer. Can we continue the conversation?
Yeah.
And again, that doesn't happen. Not until now. Thanks, Andrew.
You can call him 5 minutes after the event if
That's
you
it.
want.
Well, amen.
And I want to add just a quick footnote to that, Jay. You were talking about, the nosebleeds being down into the front row. What's really interesting about that is that that's not what I would say a direct value of this program. It's a byproduct of this program.
Mhm.
That's
Is
the
that
point.
what this ultimately
Side benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Is that it's literally illuminating the people that, and if you're an event organizer, you've gotten these phone calls. You've gotten these phone calls.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, I
want
Excuse
everything
me.
for nothing.
but the thing is that you literally come in. It's like, hey, I spent $500 and your top tier price is $15,000, but I still have a bad location, right? It's like you're on the floor. Congratulations. And I shouldn't sound so demeaning because again, top line revenue, you have to consider that, or the single greatest revenue source for these guys. But regardless, the point is, you could spend the $500 when you're on the bingo card. You're driving the event organizer is driving those attendees to even the worst located vendors at that show or at that event. I mean, that truly is a game changer for people that are perhaps maybe more budget conscious or finance conscious in terms of those marketing spends. I've been a part of that where I had a certain dollar amount that I had to stretch across 3 or 4 different conferences, and that I had to be able to manage that accordingly. I know what that feels like. And it doesn't feel the greatest when you're realizing like, yeah, kind of want more people to visit my booth. I want to engage more people. So then you kind of revert to, I'm going to get away from my booth to then start shaking hands. But then there's the problem. When they actually do pass by your booth, nobody's there. So there's so much of this challenge in the current state that needs to change. And I think of anything, Booth Bingo is so primed and positioned to disrupt the market that is the event space. And we don't have to go into this right now, but I would love to talk about the differences in marketing strategies from TV to radio to print to events to social to a lot of that. And I'm not the expert, that would be Red Mojo, but there is a commonsensical factor to this. And we're going to make up words today, if nothing else. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Two.
As long as it sounds good, that's fine.
We're going with it. Just be confident in it. We're good.
All words are made up. It's crazy.
Good point.
All words are made up. It's
That's a thinker.
I love that. Well, I think it's interesting because we brought this term up kind of early on in early discussions, but we talked about win-win-win.
Yeah.
And if you think about win-win-win, we've talked about vendors, right? Generating 2 times, 3 times the traffic, all the engagement, all the leads straight to them. I mean, and Marriott of everything, right? Cold corners are no longer cold corners.
Exactly.
Attendees, gamifying this app, right? And making something that's really fun for them to play, for one, and to get it around to all the vendors, and also win something at the end of it if they really do want to play the game to its fullest. And a lot of people, I mean, we've seen it before. We'll get into the events we've already done because we've seen that in action already. But what about that last win? So the event organizer, we've kind of been talking a little bit about it, but like if you're an event organizer out there, and maybe this is to you, Jay, because you're also a fellow event organizer. What is the main importance to, well, I guess, deploying this app?
When we talk about event organizing, we want to consider who's in the room, right? And who's the first start to go into the room is primarily that of sponsors, right? Event organizers have the problem of providing the best service to the attendee, and so fast do we forget we have a bigger problem of providing the absolute best experience to our sponsor. And quite frankly, I'm going to go with the forgotten middle child, the vendors, where we will cater exceptionally hard to the sponsors in general. We're going to make a VIP room for them. We're going to throw everything we can think of at them as it pertains to making sure that they get the most out of their sponsorship. Especially whenever the sponsorship is coming out of a benevolency piece, right? So it's a, hey, would you come support us? By the way, it's the worst way the one can go about that. It's literally you're automatically lowering your status when actually events like this have the biggest stick to swing in the community, because who's buying but the people that go to these events?
Mm-hmm.
So hey, leverage, point out the people that are doing the most. So okay, getting into the minutia though is, as an event organizer, I run the risk of apathy. I could go to a vendor's like, hey, you did not spend what a sponsor spent. Get over it, right? You paid what you paid. You saw what you saw. We told you what was going to happen. Hey, sorry it didn't work out for you this time. But again, the problem of apathy is I want that one to come back next year, because I don't want them to be one of the less, that 90% of that is now leaving the room, right? Because they're not going to come back if you don't do anything for them, if you're not catering to them as well.